Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my LinkedIn Lives. I'm Jasmine Navarro, certified wellbeing expert, working with educational institutions and companies, helping them support their family wellbeing challenges. And as you know, every week I interview different experts who make a difference. And today I'm super excited. I don't know how long it's been to be interviewing Taruna again. Hi, Taruna. Thank you so much for coming back.
I am so excited to be here again. I mean, seriously, it's beautiful to catch up with you. It's beautiful to be a part of any conversation that you're having. Excited.
Oh, you too. No, thank you so much, Taruna. And can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. So I am a public speaking coach, and I've shifted that a little, Jasmine. I say I'm empathetic. I am an empathetic public speaking coach.
Okay.
It is extremely important for us coaches to understand the mindset that someone comes to us with, right? There are so many times that there are deeper aspirations, deeper fears, a,
Yes.
a mindset that comes in the way of growth, of success. That for us, it's very important that we are empathetic to what someone is seeking from us as coaches, right? So I'm an empathetic public speaking coach. I'm a TEDx speaker coach as well.
Wow.
What I've been doing for the last 20 years. Yes.
Amazing. Amazing. No, thank you so much. And I know you've got so much value to share. And, we've already had so many comments and questions with you coming on today. So you chose this title, Empowering Communicators from Classrooms to Boardrooms. Can you tell us why you chose that today and what does it mean?
So, you know what, Jasmine, what I've realized is that communication is a life skill, but so many times we push it to something that we'll do in the future versus address it early on. That when people come to me, I realize that, if it would have started something early on, there are so many things that they would not have had challenges with. Or even if they don't come with challenges, there's so many times that I feel that the power of communication is so undervalued. So we start communication coaching at a very young age. You'll find it so hard to believe, but we start at the age of 5. So
wow.
I have a program of 4 kids, kindergarten through 12th grade, which I, along with some amazing team of teachers that I have, we do. And then the other thing that I do is I individually coach adults. So that's why I chose this topic, because I wanted to address how important it is to nip that fear in the bud. When it just you start to feel it, you should squash it right there. That's why I picked this topic. Yeah.
No, I think, I completely agree with you. It's so important. And I love what you said about nipping the fear in the bud, because like we were just talking about, overcoming fear when you're older. It's just harder, isn't it? It's just so much harder because there's just more layers. So I think I love that you say you start really young, because like you said, communication is so important, probably in every single area of your life, both personally and professionally.
Yes. I mean,
we always
important skill. There are so many times that people say, you know what, Taruna, but he does not even deserve it. But he was the one who was there, who was more visible, who was more confident, who was more articulate. And he got the spot that I think I truly deserve. In fact, this was the conversation this was happening literally 2 days back.
Yeah.
Someone, and he said, I am great at what I do, Taruna, but I am so hesitant to stand up and show my face around, or just speak or communicate more strongly, more effectively. And he said that I tend to lose out. And that is the truth, Jasmine.
Oh, it's so true. It's so true. This resonates so much. So where do we start with being an empowered communicator? Like, what's the first step? Because I mean, some people can be equally as terrified as talking to one person, as somebody else is terrified as talking in front of like 100 to 10,000 people. That fear is real, isn't it? It doesn't matter which situation you're in, you can feel that fear. So where do we start with this?
First, I think it always starts with acknowledging, Jasmine, acknowledging that there is massive power in in the way you communicate. That's one thing. Acknowledging that you might have gaps that can be addressed. Acknowledging that public speaking is a life skill and it is an acquired skill. So when you acknowledge, accept all of this, then you are already on a path of growth. It is, you switch to a growth mindset then, right? So I would say the first step is to acknowledge.
Oh, I love that. That's so beautiful. And that actually seems quite possible as well. It doesn't seem so daunting, does it? The first step, because sometimes taking that first step
It is
feels
not daunting, Jasmine, but you resist it a lot, is what I would say.
that's
People
true.
tend to resist it. They're like,
Yes.
oh, I don't think I have it in me.
Yes.
It's a mindset block. Oh, I don't
Yeah.
think I can do it. Or my fear is so big that I don't think anything can be done about it. Or that, you are born that way and I'm not born this way.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All of these excuses really to
It
keep
is
us stuck.
excuses, it is narratives that we feed ourselves. And on that, I'd like to share something, Jasmine.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
I am, you know, very soon I am doing a TEDx talk. And
Are you?
topic,
Okay.
I'm so excited about it. And my topic is the invisible threats of these narratives.
Oh,
That-
wow. Oh, I love that.
Right? I realize that that's what I want to talk about because they are invisible threats. The narratives that we feed ourselves, or those beliefs that they are so deep rooted that they come in the way of how we should be projecting ourselves. These narratives, they shrink us rather than show us in our full form,
Mm,
right? So
that's right.
yeah, that's the topic that I would be speaking on. So that's what I wanted to say, that I very strongly believe that these fears, these invisible threats, they hold us back from
Oh, yeah.
knowing ourselves well. Yeah.
You you have to send us the link to all of your talks so we can watch them because they're absolutely amazing. So I've just got a question here from Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for joining on Instagram. She says, in your view, what are the most important communication skills schools should be nurturing today?
What is the most important communication skill?
Yeah.
There are so many tools to each genre of speaking that
Yeah.
kids can develop. But if you were to ask me, I'm thinking it's group discussion.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yes, because we focus so much on speeches in school as a
Yes.
mode of doing communication, or what public speaking should be speeches. But I feel that group discussion is more free flowing. Group discussion is more valuable. There are so many things that you learn when you learn how to do an impactful group discussion. So I would say that should be one skill that we should definitely teach.
Group discussion. Okay, no, thanks for that. And I mean, there's so many, like you said, there's so many different areas of communication. So, what are the challenges that people often face? I know there's so much fear, but can we talk a tiny bit about challenges? Because I know probably a lot of people are watching and thinking, like you said, the stories that we tell ourselves. Like, what stories have you heard, and how have you helped? Because I know you're an expert in this. How have you helped people overcome um, this fear?
So when we're talking about adults, Jasmine,
Yes.
what I have realized is that they come with a lot of skills. They are not newbies who are not like established in their fields, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And then they come with a mindset of, I don't think I can do it, Taruna. I am so scared. I tend to mess up. I don't have it in me. But the first thing I do is I make them sit and I make them redefine who they are in their workspace.
Oh, wow.
I tell them, I said, who are you? I know you as someone sitting in front of me, but can you tell me who are you in your workspace? And then when they start talking, they say, oh, you know what, Tarna, I have 10 years of experience doing this. And this is a skill set that I am a master in. And I am the go-to person for this. Or I have this kind of an educational background. When they start rediscovering who they are, I literally pause and I ask them to look at what they just said to me. So that is the person who is hiding or who is really buried under these layers of I cannot, I don't have it in me, it's impossible
Mm.
for me, I will mess up. That person is buried beneath those layers of doubts, Jasmine. So
Yeah,
that is what I honestly I do this in the first session every single time.
I love that. And again, you saying that is acknowledging again, isn't it?
Yes, it is, right? So
Yeah.
you acknowledge when you are literally staring at everything you cannot do. I want you to acknowledge everything that you've done, everything that you own, everything that you
Wow.
are, right? And
Mm.
then that is the first step that I do.
Yeah, that's very
Then
powerful.
start pushing it forward to see what are the things that you can do at your workspace. Oh, Taruna, I can do this and I can do that. Again, all that capability, that possibility is buried under self-doubt.
Mm.
So I tell everyone that I could teach you so many tools, but it is not going to lead you to success unless you redefine yourself, unless we work on your mindset too. So all the skills are on one side, but if I'm not working on your mindset, you are not going anywhere with these skills. I mean, that's what I've realized in my experience, Jasmine.
Oh, oh, wow. Everything you're saying is just, yeah, I really agree with everything you're saying because, like you said, you have to do the inner work. And like you said, you can have all of the skills, but if you're blocked,
There you go. Yeah.
you just can't
It,
you
it
can't be open to receiving the knowledge or information or skills, can you? So that's the first thing. And that the inner work is the hard part actually, isn't it? That's harder
yes.
than learning the skills, really. Um,
So
yeah.
that's what I work on, Jasmine. And this is what I realized, in the initial years of my coaching, that everything that I could coach them on, no, it's not going to move
No.
the needle in any way for them unless they work on the what ifs.
Yeah. And self-belief, basically. If they're not aligned with what you're teaching them, forget it. Like it would always be just, yeah, they'll be
Mhm.
against it. Very, very. I
Yes.
love that. I absolutely love that. We've got another question from Bob. Hi, Bob. How are you doing? He says, what role does emotional intelligence play in empowering communicators at any age?
Bob, I thank you so much for this question.
Yeah, it's a good
I
question.
feel that it is such an important piece. As a coach, I really value um, looking at this again, acknowledging or helping my client acknowledge that emotional intelligence, if it is lower spectrum, it is coming in the way of your powerful communication. So I think it's super important. It's super important.
Yes, yeah, I think so as well. Definitely, definitely. Because our emotions actually become our blockers, don't they? Our
They, yes, or
emotion.
it can elevate you, Jasmine. If
Yeah.
if you are working on the right mindset, right, then your emotions, you just turn on the switch then. And it's not something, and I tell everyone, it's not something that will magically turn on to say, hey, you know what?
No.
I'm working with Taruna and the switch will turn on. It does not happen that way, Jasmine. The expectation has to be realistic, but there is a switch that can be turned on.
Oh wow. Oh, I love that. That's reassuring.
Oh, yeah, yes.
There is a switch. That sounds good. We've got another question coming in. I can't see the name though. So hi, thank you for your question. How can we help quieter individuals, those who may not naturally speak up, find their voice in classrooms and boardrooms?
What a beautiful question, too.
Yes.
Because again, we're talking mindset, that a mindset tells you that I am a quiet child or a quiet adult. I cannot do this. Public speaking is for someone who is, who is outgoing, who is social, who is already, who's someone who everyone sees as confident. But again, I would want to burst that bubble like right away. you know, so because it is not true. Now if you're working with children, you will realize that each and every child has something to say. Each and every
Yeah.
wants to be heard. I mean,
Yes.
it is there. As we as teachers and coaches first have to acknowledge that each and every child has something to say. They might not stand as frontliners when it comes to communication, but they also want to say something. So as long as
Yeah.
we as teachers acknowledge that, then we equip them with tools. Like when I'm talking group discussion is so powerful. It is a great way for each child to take a turn to speak. It is a great way to, it can be coached too. There are so many powerful school tools that can be used in group discussion when you are coaching group discussion.
Mhm.
Now, those tools are so easy to use that even a quieter child, when has that toolkit, that child starts picking the easier tools to use and starts talking. So we as coaches and teachers have to know that there are tools that we can give them so that they start feeling more confident about sharing little pieces and then going on from there to take bolder steps. And the same goes in the boardroom as well. There are tools. That's what I work with.
Mm.
I realize that I create tools and I pass them on.
Yeah.
There are certain tools that will be easy for a person to use. Certain good tools will take them time, but they will have a toolkit to begin using. So my answer is that there are tools that can be taught to each and every child, one. And second, that we as coaches have to acknowledge that each and every child has something to say, wants
Yeah. Oh,
to
I love
be
that.
heard.
I love that. Acknowledge seems to be really
Oh,
important.
yeah,
I
right
think
here. Yeah.
it's so important, isn't it? Because if you don't have that awareness, then it's hard to move forward.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, but what would you say then to say adults maybe who are feeling very scared of maybe they've got a presentation or a group discussion or something? Is there anything they can do by themselves? I know you've mentioned acknowledge, so maybe that's the answer. But is there what's have you got like an exercise that we can do by ourselves if we're feeling really scared before a talk or something? We might just freak out straight before.
One thing is, so if you are really scared before a presentation or a talk, breathing exercise, Jasmine, is
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
is the right answer. There is a very simple technique of breathing where you take in your breath for 5 seconds, hold it for four, release from for 5 seconds, and you are doing it with your mouth closed. You're doing it breathing through your nose, releasing through your nose. So even if the person sitting next to you does not know that you are doing something. So instead of, you doing big things that make everyone aware of, oh, wow, look how nervous he is looking in this moment, right? You do the simple exercise for 5 to 8 times, and you will realize that your nerves are calmer.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the other thing is, ask yourself, or just revisit this part that I mentioned before. Who are you? I'm Taruna with 20 years of experience in the field. I do this, and I do this. What can I do? Oh,
Yeah, so
can
true.
so when you push your credibility beyond that self-doubt, right? When you revisit this again, you know that this person with these many years of experience or this knowledge background is stepping up to talk, right?
Amazing. Yes,
And
amazing.
the
I've
thing
got
is,
another question. Oh,
yeah.
just
Please go.
sorry, no, just on oh, I've lost, where is it? She says mental rehearsal with a question mark.
Mental rehearsal?
Yeah, with a question mark. Can you tell us more? What's your question? And thank you for your question. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think maybe she means, I don't know if she was referring to what about mental rehearsal, or like, do you do that? Visualize yourself doing it beforehand?
Yes. So, mental rehearsal, Jasmine, she could possibly be talking about that. Oh, when you are giving a talk, should you mentally rehearse what you have to speak? So
Yes,
you
yes.
are sounding strong, powerful. But then I feel that you're putting too much pressure on yourself by constantly, because you've done the work. You've rehearsed it, you've memorized it. First of all, I strongly suggest not to rehearse word
Oh,
for
do you? Okay.
not to rehearse word for word, because you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. And then if you forget one word, Jasmine, you've completely derailed that
Oh, yeah, that's true.
train of right.
I've done that before. I rehearsed 20 pages word for word. It was, oh, I can't believe I did it. I mean, so that's even more pressure, isn't it? Because then
Yes,
I
right?
mean, try to remember it. How stressful is that? But no, but I think what she means is when you visualize yourself, not actually the words, but just visualize yourself actually doing it successfully with no words, but just the image and
Yes,
feeling. Yeah.
visualize yourself, but I also say that, um, you know, silently acknowledge who you are. So you would say that I'm Jasmine. I've been doing this for so long. I have this kind of an experience, and the people that I'm speaking in front of, they will benefit from what I will share with them. So I am empowering them with knowledge. So you take away the spotlight from yourself and pass it on towards them. So literally, the spotlight is turned from you to them, and
Yeah.
that's the difference, Jasmine.
Amazing. And she says, as a preparation for speeches, Toastmasters since 2017, find it a great tool once the actual physical work is done, and visualize the reaction you get and the feeling of confidence. Yes. Thank you so much. Yep. I've done that before with different things, but no, thanks. Right. We're running out of time. Taruna, it definitely wasn't long enough. There's so many more things I want to ask you, and I'm sure other people have more questions too, but we're running out of time. So, but thank you so much for coming on. As usual, amazing. Is there anything you want to say before you go? And how can people find you?
So, Jasmine, thank you so much too. It's such a pleasure always to have this
I know.
conversation with you. And what would I want to say? I would want to say that you have to take that step forward to empower yourself. You have to believe that there is a possibility of making that shift with your communication skills. It starts with a mindset. That's where you start from. And communication skills are developed, acquired skills. So that's what it is. And you can find me on LinkedIn. And I'm super excited because my website is coming up soon that I've been pushing for some time. So tarunaramani.com would
Can you
be.
put that in the link on the post as well? The links to your website and
Well,
everything.
but it is not ready yet, Jasmine. I'm in
Okay.
the process, but I have the domain. I'm working on the other parts of it. So tarunaramani.com and definitely LinkedIn.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And we just got a message here, but I can't see the name. It says awesome topic and hearing from the experts themselves. Thank you so much. I don't know why the name's not coming up, but thank you so much, Taruna. Absolute pleasure. Please put any links or anything you have on the post whenever you have them. And if anybody has a question about public speaking or communication, being empowered, please contact Taruna. She is your person. And thank you so much, Taruna. Thank you for everybody else. And I'll see you next week. And I'll be in touch with you soon as well, Taruna. Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.